Week 10 of the high school football season, the final week of the regular season as league play wraps up. And then on Selection Sunday, which is Halloween, we will find out the playoff brackets and where these teams will end up in what playoff division. We just don't know at this point. A little bit later on in the show, we're going to talk more about these big-time matchups coming up here in week number 10. There is some league titles still on the line, and there's also teams just trying to fight for position to make it to the playoffs. But this team, they know they're going to the playoffs. They are your 5-time Citrus Belt League champions, and that's where we start the show. He is the head coach of the Cajon Cowboys, Nick Rogers. And, Coach, 5 straight CBL championships, and I had to look this up. Do you know when's the last time you guys lost a CBL game? Because I had to look it up. I have it right here.
The last time would have been Redlands East Valley in 2016.
You nailed it. Do you remember the date or the score?
I know we lost with about, they got the ball and drove down with 45 seconds to go to beat us in that game. That was Armando Herrera. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Armando Herrera. It was 38-32, and it was almost to the day. It was October 28th, 2016. But since then, Coach, 26 straight Citrus Belt League wins, 5 straight CBL titles. I know you guys won a championship in the spring, and you had, a good senior class, but, I guess every year you feel like, what do we have this year? Do we have enough to keep it going? Obviously, you guys had enough. Are you pleasantly surprised, or how would you kind of sum up the regular season?
As far as being surprised, we knew we had a lot of talent coming back. We were really young at the skill positions last year. And the big question mark is, could we fill in with the line? Last year's line, actually the last couple of years, we've had extremely talented offensive linemen. And this year we had 4 guys that never taken a snap on a varsity field. So, it was some growing pains early on. They got to kind of, feel the wrath for, in the early part of the season, but they kind of come together in league play, and they're starting to play really well. So hats off to them. But that, they're really what is going to determine how far we go is how well our offensive line plays, because we think, skill position wise with our receivers and running back, we're as good as anyone in the area.
It sounds like it was a win-win then. Your younger guys, especially up front, got some great experience, and you were still able to win all those games. I mean, you're 9-0 going into your final league contest against Redlands on Thursday night. So do you feel like this group, like you mentioned, they were kind of growing up as the season went along, getting that experience, and now, they're all obviously going to be better for it once you guys get to the playoffs? Yeah,
like I said, our offensive line is, night and day from where we were week 0 against Carter High School. All the way till now, these guys are starting to move people up front and doing a good job in picking up blitzes and just coming together as a unit. Defensively, we've been playing solid all year. We returned a big core group of our defensive guys that saw significant snaps. And we got some guys, the young guys that have stepped in and filled in and done a good job too for the kids that graduated in the spring.
So, Coach, I'm curious, Selection Sunday for the playoffs, it's also Halloween. So what's Sunday going to look like for you? Are you out trick-or-treating? Are you breaking down film of the team you're going to play? What do you think Sunday might look like in the Rogers home?
Oh, that's a good question. Obviously the pairings, I think, come out around 10 o'clock. So figure out who we got and then go through the film exchange, and then we'll get together with the coaches. We've been doing a lot of stuff through Zoom. That's one thing that the pandemic's kind of taught us, to be able to use the technology, so we don't have to try to organize days of getting together and huddled around the TV. We just kind of watch film, and then we talk about it together as a staff, and then start putting the plan together later that night.
Coach, you're still a pretty young guy, so I think you avoided the days when you'd actually take like a VHS tape and you'd say, hey, Coach, your opposing coach, I'll meet you down at the Carl's Jr. and we'll trade VHS tapes so I can see your team. Did you miss those days? I'm assuming you did.
No, that was my time to be, that was when I was a gopher kind of coach. So I was starting out, and so I was having to go all over the place to exchange these films, especially, this time where it's pouring rain and you're having to drive out wherever to meet somebody, a coach. And then obviously then there was switch to DVD, and you had to bring both sets, and some pretty wild times during that era. But now everything's, so simple. We can get, with the click of a button, being able to get all 10 films from each opponent.
I'm thinking about just this year, off the top of my head, I know you guys played Grossmont like in San Diego. Can you imagine saying, hey, I'll meet you in Temecula or Escondido to trade tape?
Yeah, that would have been, who knows what would have happened.
Coach, you guys have had so much success the last couple of years, and it obviously continued this year, but what do you think's the constant from year to year, let's say the last 5 years? What do you think's been that constant in the Cajon football program that just keeps it going and continues that winning tradition?
I think, for us, a big thing's been, we've instilled this since we took over in 2014 is becoming a family, a brotherhood. And our kids have bought into it. They play for each other, and we found that's really what leads us. So, it's not the plays. The plays have changed over the years, and obviously you have certain players, you run certain things, and you modify things. So it's definitely not the playbook or scheme. It's definitely, I think if we're looking for the one common denominator here, it's going to be that brotherhood that we work on and really coach and push on these kids.
Well, Coach, congrats on a great regular season so far. One more to go against the Terriers on Thursday night, and then the playoff brackets will come out. Let's end on this. What bracket, what division do you think Cajon might end up in?
I think we'll see how they kind of decipher things. I've heard different things of how many they're going to be letting in. Whether it's an 18 Division I, and so on. But I don't think there's any way we're out of Division II. Now it's determined, are we playing on the road or are we at home? And we'll wait for the seeding to come out from CIF to figure out what we're doing and where we're going to play.
You guys just kept winning, and CIF just gradually kept moving you guys up from division to division, and it probably looks like Division II this year, but we'll find out for sure on Sunday. Coach Rogers, thank you always for your time. I do appreciate it. Best of luck this week, and best of luck in the playoffs.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Absolutely. That is Nick Rogers, head football coach for the Cajon Cowboys, joining us here on the Inland Sports Show. We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, more high school football as we take a look at some of these big matchups coming up in week number 10. We'll be right back on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.
What's going on, guys? This is Ray Bass from Boost Performance Training. You're watching the Inland Sports Show with the one and only Pep Fernandez.
The time is now. The Boost Training Center is open for business and ready to help all the athletes across the Inland Empire. Doesn't matter the age or the sport, if you go to Boost Training with Coach Ray Bass, they're going to make you bigger, faster, stronger. So if you're out there looking to train this offseason, talking about all you football players especially, check out boosttrainingsystems.com. That is the website. You can find a strength and speed class just for you this offseason, so you can be even bigger, better, faster, stronger this upcoming season. Give them a call or text at 951-532-4904 to reserve your spot today. Strength and speed training at Boost Training System. And don't forget, enrollment is open right now for the Bass School. That's Boost Alternative School for student athletes. You can check out what they have to offer at boosttrainingsystems.com. That is the website once again, and you can enroll for the 2021-2022 school year. Again, this is not an online school. This is a private school specifically for 7th and 8th grade boys. Check it out today because space is limited.
Before we get to the scores, a quick shout out to our guy JJ Taylor, the pride of Centennial High School in Corona. Not one, but two touchdowns yesterday in a huge win against the Jets. It was Patriots 54, Jets 13, and JJ Taylor with his first two NFL touchdowns in that game. So a big shout out to our Centennial Husky in that huge win for New England. A shout out to our guy Travis Dye, the pride of Norco High School, the starting running back for the Oregon Ducks. Now he had 4 touchdowns for number 10 Oregon as they were able to beat UCLA at the Rose Bowl, 34-31, the final score.
Another local kid, so cool.
I mean, at this point, it's not, UCLA or USC, but I want to see Oregon keep winning because I want to see a Pac-12 team get in there and possibly get to that playoff.
Yes, please take down my SEC honk friends.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. We're getting you all set for Week 10 of the high school football season. We have finally reached the end of the regular season. League titles on the line, playoff positioning, all the good stuff. Let's take a look at the Mountain Valley League and the league leader. They're already at least co-champions. They can win it outright this week. It's the A.B. Miller Rebels. Join us live on the show right now. In fact, he's about ready to jump in a meeting. This guy is super busy coaching them up. He's got boosters, everything going on. Andrew Amosa, the head coach of the Rebels. And coach, hey, you're 7-2, league champions. You're going to the playoffs. How fun has this season been for you at A.B. Miller?
This whole thing for us, started back in July and at the end of last COVID season. So to see, the growth of our program, where we're at before the season started to where we're at now, it's very happy and to see where we're at this point.
Coach, you beat San Bernardino this past week 31-6, and that gave you guys at least a share of the title. You can win it outright this week. But, I asked you after the game, has Miller won a league title in a while? Because I felt like you guys were knocking on the door for a while, just couldn't get over the hump. I mean, what was different about this year's team, you think?
Past, it was probably year 4 here. The past couple of years, we've been almost there. It's like just trying to nip up there and try to get the one step at a time. But I'll tell you, I think this whole year for us and being co-league champs at this point right here was, I say of these guys, my seniors right now who are my freshmen when I first stepped on campus. So right now, these guys, they seen the ins and outs, from our first year to where we're at right now.
Is that rewarding as a head coach when you've had guys in the program who have stuck it out? They've been with you for a couple of years now, and they stuck it out, and now, this is the reward. This is, the carrot dangling out in front of them is that you guys were able to get a league championship. They put in the work for several years, and now here you are.
Exactly. I can honestly say there's probably about it's my first year. There's probably 2 guys who are freshmen right now who are seniors now who actually suited out with our varsity team. And going to that second year, we went 6-4. There's probably another 7-8 sophomores who were there with us on varsity who are now seniors. So it's very rewarding to see where they're at, back in the day until where they're at now.
All right, Coach, you've got Indian Springs this week. And, again, if you win, you're outright champions. You'll be 8-2 overall, undefeated in the Mountain Valley League. Are you using this game to maybe get some stuff dialed in before the playoffs? Because we don't know what playoff division you guys will be in. But I'm thinking you guys might make a run in CIF as well. I mean, how do you approach this week's game?
Honestly, we're approaching this week I know some of my players and some, even just everyone, the little buzz around campus right now is, hey, we're co-league, we're elite champs. But for us, I've been telling these guys for a long time, you got to take 1 week at a time, and we're not looking past Indian Springs, because they beat us last year in the COVID year. But we just got to take one game at a time right now. We can't wait to get to to the brackets come Sunday. And I just hope, we put us in a good division, that I think we should be at.
Well, Coach, finally, we'll leave you on this one because you just mentioned the playoff divisions, the brackets. We don't know what playoff division, you'll end up in. Nobody knows, but,
yes.
I know they're going to look at Cal Preps, and they got all these complicated formulas and this and that. Do you have a guess? Do you have a hunch where the Rebels might end up? What division?
My hunch is I think we're probably going to be anywhere between 12 and 14. I'm thinking 12. Honestly, when I think when I look at some of the teams and the way they hopefully they fall in their own league, so I'm thinking 12. But whatever they put us in, we just got to be coach our guys to be ready.
Well, Coach, I know you got a big booster meeting to get into. We appreciate it. Congrats on the season so far. A lot accomplished in the regular season, but I'm sure you guys want to continue playing this season and maybe have a couple more games in front of you, right?
Yes, exactly.
Coach Amosa, appreciate it. Best of luck this week against Indian Springs. Best of luck in the playoffs, and we appreciate the time. Thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks, Pep, for whatever you do for us in IE for our students.
Yes, sir.
Take care.
Andrew Amosa and A.B. Miller join us here on the Inland Sports Show. Your Mountain Valley League champions trying to go outright, trying to go 8-2. Overall on the season, and they've got Indian Springs this week, and then it's right into the playoffs. And again, you heard Coach, don't know exactly what playoff division they will be in, but a lot of the local coaches have been keeping track of these Cal Prep rankings because that's the closest thing that we can look at to maybe even get a guess of where they might end up. So, but we'll find out soon enough on Halloween, on Selection Sunday for the high school football playoffs. We'll take another quick break. Again, when we come back, we'll take a look at some of those big matchups in week number 10. And also, we're going to run down the league champions in the Inland Sports coverage area. Who's already clinched a league championship? Who's on the verge? And there is one league that it's a winner-take-all, head-to-head. Two teams playing each other. The winner is your league champion. The loser will be the second-place team. We got all that when we come back here on the Inland Sports Show.
96.7 KCal Rocks. What's up? It's Patrick and 40. Hey, man, you're watching the Inland Sports Show right here. Make sure you check out Pep, man. It's Inland Sports with Pep, but he's on every Monday and Thursday morning with Sports with Pep, man. You guys rock.
Calling all athletes. Make sure you're at your very best by training at Boost Performance Training in Corona. Whether you're a football player, soccer player, baseball player, lacrosse, athletes from all sports and all levels train at Boost Performance Training. Led by former Centennial High School football star Ray Bass, you'll develop explosive power, become faster, and add that lean muscle. Don't be left behind and get a leg up on the competition at Boost Performance Training. Visit boosttrainingsystems.com for information on their training programs and also on the Bass School. That's the Bass Alternative School for student athletes. Trying to earn a scholarship? Maybe make the varsity team. Get a spot in the starting lineup? Well, let Boost Performance Training help achieve your athletic goals.
I would say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taking care of whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now, and that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, you know. customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time, and then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. A big thanks to our guests so far, Andrew Amosa at A.B. Miller, Nick Rogers at Cajon, as we get you set for the final week of the regular season in high school football here in the Inland Sports coverage area. And with that said, league champions, if you want to crown them, and we have. Several league titles have already been decided. Others are still up for grabs. Let's take a look at the league champions in our Inland Sports coverage area. We will go right down the list. It's Aquinas in the Ambassador League. In the land of the Big Eight, not a shocker, Centennial's back on top. In the Citrus Belt, Cajon for 5 straight glorious years. Inland Valley, it's going to be Vista del Lago. In the Ivy League, Temescal Canyon is in first place. Here's the caveat, though, with a lot of these games, a lot of these teams. Assuming they win out, they're the league champs. Even if they lose in the final week, there could be some possibilities of co-champions in many of these leagues. So, with that said, let's keep going on. Mountain Pass, San Jacinto, Mountain Valley, A.B. Miller, in the River Valley, Norte Vista. They beat Ramona, they beat Hillcrest, now they're rolling. They got La Sierra in the final week. The only league that is a true league championship game in week number 10 is the San Andreas League. Eisenhower versus Summit. The winner will be your league champion. In the Skyline League, it's Rim of the World. The Scots getting it done with Mountain Ball. Southwestern League, it'll be Murrieta Valley, Sunbelt, JW North, and the Sunkist League is Harupa Hills. And again, several of these leagues have an opportunity to have co-champions at the end of the season. But as of right now, after week number 9, that is how it looks. So all those teams already with a share of the league championship, trying to win it outright. But very excited about that San Andreas League game between Eisenhower and Summit. Winner take all. Love those head-to-head matchups. So now let's go to the Kids Sporting Goods must-see game this week. And then we take you down back to the Ivy League. And this is going to be a real juicy one. Temescal Canyon and Elsinore. League rivals, neighborhood rivals, it's all that. Plus, if Temescal Canyon wins, they win the Ivy League championship outright. If Elsinore wins, we could have a 3-way tie for first. Elsinore, Temescal Canyon, and Heritage. So a 3-way championship if the Tigers can rise up and beat Temescal Canyon. But the Titans, they know what they got to do. They're in the driver's seat. They control their own destiny. If they win Friday, then it's over. Temescal Canyon is your Ivy League champion. All right, now let's go to some of those other big games coming up in week number 10. We looked at the league champions already, but here's some of the great matchups. In the land of the Big Eight, Norco and Roosevelt. The winner will be your second-place team. In the Southwestern League, Murrieta Valley coming off a huge win against Vista Murrieta. The Nighthawks now trying to get past Chaparral to cap off a perfect Southwestern League schedule. Beaumont and Citrus Valley, very similar to Norco and Roosevelt. Beaumont versus Citrus Valley will be for second place in the Citrus Belt League. Summit versus Eisenhower, winner take all, man, in the San Andreas League. Down to the Inland Valley League, Vista del Lago. They will take on in-town rival Moreno Valley as the Ravens look to cap off an undefeated Inland Valley schedule. Aquinas, they will finish up their season at home against an Ontario Christian team that is 6-1-1. Yes, they had a tie this season. And finally, this is a rivalry game. Grand Terrace and Colton also in San Andreas League play. So those are some of the Week 10 games to keep an eye on here in the final week of the regular season. All right, now it's time to take a look at the Boost Performance Training Top 25 poll. Hey, we got some teams moving around. Check out the Cajon Cowboys, a perfect 9-0. They climbed to number 3. Murrieta Valley is up to number 4, using that big win against Vista Murrieta. The Nighthawks beat Vista Murrieta 49-48, one better than the Broncos. Citrus Valley's at 6, San Jacinto, JW North, who is 9-0. Beaumont at 9, Roosevelt at 10. And remember, Beaumont plays Citrus Valley this week. That's a huge game. And then 11 through 25, let's touch on a couple of these. Summit having a great season, but they got that big test against Eisenhower. Novi is undefeated 8-0. Harupa Hill 7-2. Temescal Canyon also 7-2. Aquinas is probably the best 4 and 5 team you're going to see anywhere. The Falcons are really good and poised to make a playoff run. And then you can see the rest of the rankings after that. It's a little muddled because there's a lot of teams very, very close right now. So we'll continue the Boost Top 25 through the first round, second round, maybe even depending how many teams go deep in the playoffs. We'll continue it for several more weeks. All right, let's take another quick break here on the Inland Sports Show. When we come back, we're taking you right up the mountain. We're going to Rim of the World High School to talk to the #1, the leading rusher in the state of California right now, Zach Gross. We'll be right back here on the Inland Sports Show.
We are the IE. We work hard. In fact, that's the way we like it. We wake up early, we stay up late to get the job done right. That blue-collar, hard-working mentality is the same reason we have so many successful teams and coaches and athletes in the Inland Empire. We never give up. We are a resilient bunch in the IE. Everything we have, we've earned. No excuses. It's this determined attitude is what powers our small businesses, and that's how championships are won. The Inland Sports Team is looking to team up with other like-minded small businesses in the IE. Together, we can grow. We can be bigger and better. If it was easy, everyone would do it. But we're not looking for easy, just looking for an opportunity. Joining the Inland Sports Team could be the opportunity that you've been looking for. The #1 sporting goods store in the Inland Empire is Ken's Sporting Goods in Norco. Whether you need new uniforms for the entire team, a Letterman's jacket, or new cleats for the upcoming season, check out Ken's Sporting Goods. Plus, now you can order masks with your favorite team, school, business, and more. Order for your entire team or organization. Visit kensportinggoods.com for more information and for the latest on the big sales. Make sure to follow Ken's Sporting Goods on Instagram and Twitter. So if you need team uniforms or sports gear, there's only one place to go in the Inland Empire. That's Ken's Sporting Goods.
Justice hands it off to Bacher, right up the gut and in for the touchdown. There is Austin Bacher to make it 20-0 SBVC. What a first frame for the Wolverines.
Go for it.
3rd and 6. Justice rolling to his left, going downfield. Eric Wells fighting to the end zone. Touchdown Wolverines. Eric Wells muscling his way across the goal line. Yeah, that was a big win for San Bernardino Valley College, 37-29 against San Diego Mason. A couple local guys, Austin Bacher from Murrieta Valley High School and Eric Wells from Pacific High School, having huge games to lead the Wolverines to that victory and snap that 4-game losing streak. All right, back to high school football, and this guy is number 1 in the state of California right now in terms of rushing yards. Let's take you up the mountain to Lake Arrowhead. He is the running back for the Rim of the World Scots, Zach Gross. And Zach, you know, your coach hit me up on social media, and I knew you were having a big season. I didn't know how big, but right now, I mean, you're getting close to 1,900 yards in just 8 games. What do you credit all those great games and all those yards to?
I give most of the credit definitely to my blockers, my linemen. They do. I mean, they open up the holes for me. They're the biggest part of it for sure. And then the coaching, even just to teach our linemen how to block like that. So yeah. So
they make your job a lot easier. It sounds like you know, carrying
definitely.
The football. All right, Zach, I got your numbers right in front of me. So 1,866 yards in just 8 games. And if you do the math, Zach, that's 11.7 yards per carry. So every time you touch the football, you guys are getting a first down. Like if I was Coach Dorado, I'd be like, dude, just give him the ball every single time because we're going to end up in the end zone. I mean, how good is that knowing that the offense is running so well right now?
I mean, it's nice. Like we're like a majority of our running team. So if our run game's not working, we don't really got much to do. So.
And Zach, you know, when I think of Rim of the World, you know, I think of really good football. I think of the month of November because the Scots teams usually make it to the playoffs. It's cold, it's foggy, it might be wet. And if you guys can run the football, that plays to your advantage. Do you feel like, you know, teams that have to go up the mountain and play at Rim, that you guys have a definite home field advantage, especially in the month of November?
Yeah, no, definitely we might have a little bit of an advantage over them. They're not really used to this weather like as much as we are. So yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, it can get cold. It can get foggy, all those things up there. Zach, so you lead the state in rushing, which got me to thinking, I'm like, you know, Rim of the World in the last decade or so, they've had some really good running backs. And I remember the Taylor brothers, specifically Jacob Taylor, back in 2012 when Rim of the World won a CIF Southern Section title. I think it was the East Valley Division. He had over 4,000 yards. I know you're approaching 2,000, but when you hear 4,000 yards, like that, doesn't that just sound incredible? That sounds like 2 football seasons put together.
Yeah, those are crazy. I don't know how he did that. Like I remember our coach was saying the other day, the only other guy that was like with them up in those like kind of yards was Derrick Henry. Like that's crazy to me. I don't know how he did that.
I know because here you are, you're approaching 2,000 yards, which is an unbelievable season, but you got to like more than double that for what Jacob did in 2012. I don't remember exactly how that season played out, but obviously he had 14 games because they went all the way to a championship game. So he had a long season.
Mm-hmm.
And you might too. You might have a long season. What's kind of your goals for this Scots team? I mean, league champions now and you know, maybe CIF title in your future.
That's all we want, is we just want CIF now. That would be awesome. And we haven't won since 2012. We didn't win league until 2006. So it's been a while. So I think this mountain could really use it too, like a championship up here.
Well, Zach, so I know you guys already won the Skyline League championship. And so in week number 10, you actually have a non-league game, and it's a really good non-league game. You guys are playing Granite Hills, and at least the record-wise, this looks like a pretty good team on paper. You know, what are your thoughts on just playing a really good Granite Hills team as like a tune-up to kind of get you ready for the playoffs?
I think this is like a great team to play right before going into the playoffs because we'll experience just like more teams like how they are going to be in the playoffs. And like, look, we haven't really played such like a fantastic team since we played St. Margaret's. They're really good. So this gives us another look on like a very good team and what we like can just learn off of it going into the playoffs.
All right, Zach, when you guys have a home game for Rim of the World, and if it's cold, do you try to be the tough guy and you don't wear long sleeves? You don't try to bundle up. You just go out there short sleeves like the tough guy, and you're like, hey, the weather doesn't bother me. What's your style when you go out there?
No, I make sure I'm as warm as possible. Long sleeve, tights, everything. I don't like to be cold.
So, Zach, we mentioned the last time Rim won a CIF Southern Section title, 2012. I know that you were just a young guy at the time, but you actually went to that game, you said.
Yeah, me and my dad went to that game. I don't really remember much, but we were there. I just kind of remember the end and everyone celebrating. That was pretty cool.
So, Zach, how special would it be if you can kind of bring that feeling back to the town of Lake Arrowhead? Because, I love this small town football stuff because, the whole town gets behind the football team. It's kind of the identity, of that community. How big would that be?
It'd be huge. Like, I would love a championship. I know many people that would love to see that up here. So I don't even know. Like, that would be crazy.
Do you feel like the whole town's behind you? Like, do you guys get a lot of fans in the stands, and people always know how the football team is doing, and they probably know you're number one in California right now in rushing yards?
Yeah, I'm sure all the fans would love to see it too, because I see like the same people at our games every time wearing all their Rim football, like alumni clothes or just anything. They're just really supportive of it. I'm sure they would love to see one as well.
Yeah, a lot of pride up there on the mountain for Rim of the World football. Zach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here on the Inland Sports Show. Good luck this week against Granite Hills, and man, hopefully you guys can string together a couple wins and make another CIF championship run here.
Hopefully. Thank you for having me on here.
Yes, sir. That is Zach Gross from Rim of the World High School, the leading rusher in the state of California right now. And actually, he's done it in 8 games. Most guys have had 9 games. He's only had 8, and he still leads the state in rushing yards. So that's something to really be proud of. And actually, to build on, man, he still has this week. He's going to have a couple more games, hopefully, in the playoffs. So Zach Gross with almost 1,900 yards on the year. All right, here's one last programming note to remind everybody. Friday night, 11:05, we're going live. Sports Weekly Live. You don't want to miss it as we wrap up the regular season. Week 10 edition. Scores, highlights, and we may even prognosticate what the playoffs might look like. We'll talk about league champions, all that good stuff. That's on IEMG, the IE Media Group YouTube channel, live and amplified Friday night, 11:05 p.m. home edition. So I hope you will join us. Big shout out to our director, Johnny Nunez, behind the scenes here at Teen Vision TV 16. We always appreciate his hard work. My name is Pep Fernandez. Stay safe out there. It's cold. It feels like football weather, finally. So be safe out there. God bless you. We'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.